up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the one of the apps I made to be able to scan numbers right from your iPhone using an open source framework called Swift OCR. So I made just a little application on my phone this past summer. So just as a quick demo, you're going to see 3 sets of numbers on the computer right there, the display. So we're going to test it out to see how well it actually works. So let me just set it up here real fast, and then, okay. So you might be able to see it gets like an A/B capture session here, and then it has a red box, and then capture. So all you do is align, numbers up, hit capture, analyze, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it worked. But yeah, let's go take a look at code, and I'll show you some of the features that are kind of built into it, and why I built the app in the first place. So as you can see here, this is the application loaded up in Xcode. There are a lot of view controllers here that I'll go through. And it's not done, the application, so it's very much, well, it was very much a work in progress. I'm not currently working on it at all anymore. I don't really have any plans to work on it anymore. Yeah, because I don't really have a use for it, and it's kind of served its purpose for what I made it for. So just some background about why I built this application. I built this application in about a few weeks. It started as an idea during my internship this past summer. One of the things we had to do was like scan MAC addresses, or key MAC addresses into like an Excel file, to then be able to plug into like SCCM to add them to like a collection or something like that. So that was kind of like a tedious task. And one time I had to add like 30 and just keying like a string of numbers and letters into the computer. So I figured, well, I don't know, I do iOS, development stuff. So I'm sure I can make something on my phone that could just, hold it up to the sticker with the MAC address on it, scan it right on my phone, put it in a CSV file, and email it away. So that's kind of how the project came about. So towards the end, I'm like, well, I could actually build this if I work on it. So that's kind of how this came about to be. And yeah, if you guys want to know like any more about the internship or stuff like that, let me know and I can like make a video about that. But yeah, so starting off with the app, and the reason I'm looking like this way is because the monitor is, I'm looking at the monitor next to my main computer here. So that being said, let's get right into this. So starting off, this is the home menu right here, and this is the app running. So you'll be able to see pretty quickly which parts are not done yet, because I built the core functionality, so I didn't really need to build it up anymore. So this part here was going to be pulling data from a website, but I'm not even going to go into that right now. But this is the functionality that the app I want to do right here is called Mac Analyzer. So we go into there, and then you'll see what is the starting number. The reason for that is the app was intended to be used in a sequence, with a sequence of computers. So starting from like computer like say 21 to 30, you can say starting number is 21, and then for each thing you scan, it'll increment that number by 1. So theoretically, you would go from 21, 22, 23, 24, and it would do it automatically. And you'll see why that's the case later. And then the computer name could be anything. So we could say like comp 1. And the way I built this is, so the starting number will be appended to the computer name. So in the company, let's say your computer name, you call it C1 or L1 for laptop 1, and you want to key these in. So you do starting number as 1, and then you do L. So that would be L1 in the pair. So the next computer that would be scanned would be L, and then 2 for the next number that would be incremented by 1. So you just hit continue there. Obviously, it's not going to run on the simulator because it can't pull up an A/B capture session with no hardware, so it will crash. But you saw that on my, so I'm gonna stop it. So, and then run it again so I can show you the other features. But I'm gonna show that to you on my phone so I can actually show you the hardware um, being used. So let me just pull it up here right now. The app is called Numbar or Tech Toolbox. I had a bunch of different names. I think on my GitHub account it's called like Swift Number Analyzer. Um, something, I don't know, something like that. So what do we say we're going to do? Starting number is 1, and then computer name is L. Sure, okay. So we hit continue, and then what you saw is what you saw in the video. So we have a AV capture session, and then I have to take a picture of something. It's not going to be numbers, it's just going to be a random thing. So as you can see here, maybe not, okay. So that's the picture I took just of my background, my laptop background, and then you have a button to analyze. So if you tap analyze, you know, obviously it somehow gets an H7NLN out of a mountain. So we'll go with that. We'll say that's right. And assuming that's right, we have a button to scan another, which will then kick it back to the previous window. And then we have an add to dictionary button. And what add to dictionary does is it basically says, okay, the number's right, add it into the list. And that's what it does. So we'll say the number's right. We'll hit add to dictionary, and it vibrates to give you a confirmation that it was added. And then you can see on the bottom there, maybe, okay, the CSV button. What that does is, assuming it was right, it'll add the value that you just added to the dictionary into a CSV file right in your phone. So we're going to go ahead and hit CSV, and it'll pop this up, the file explorer. So let's go ahead and hit save to, actually, let's send it to my MacBook Pro using AirDrop. So I think I heard a sound there. It should come through somewhere. Okay, so open. Somewhere it opened. Hang on. Sometimes I have a weird problem where the things I just airdropped, like it doesn't do anything with them. So, oh, okay. Wait, oh wait, that should have been it right there. Whatever. So welcome to numbers. I don't use numbers, but my spreadsheets. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the thing we just scanned on the phone. So remember L1 was the thing, was the number. And then we have MAC address of that number we analyzed. So if you had done it more, it'd be L2, L3, L4. And I guess I should have scanned that to show that functionality, but you can pretty much guess what that does. So yeah, this is a CSV file right in your phone. So every time it would just add down the list. So it works. It's very handy. And again, you can email this. So the design of this was to be able to email it to whoever was using it to add it into the device collection. So now that you've seen that functionality, that's the core functionality. So let's go into the code now and kind of see how it works. So let's see this, and by the way, this code is a mess. I didn't use any like design paradigm really. I pretty much did the massive view controller, which is not what you want to do. But I was just trying to make it work, get it done. So just saying that up front. So we'll go into, I believe, the image view controller. Let me just take a look here. Okay, so this is basically really the core of the app right here. So again, it's not gonna open up on there, but so this analyze button pressed. Remember on the analyze button when you had the AV capture session open, you hit capture, and then you it sent you to the next view controller where you would actually hit analyze and it would analyze the image, and we'll get to how that works now. So the first process, you had to do once you were in the AV capture session was to obviously take a picture. When you hit take the picture button, but then this right here is snapshot of. So let's hit jump to definition here, and I made an extension of UI image view. So what this did, I found this on Stack Overflow. Somebody made this really good and useful function here, where what it does is you pass in um, a rect, so a CG rect here, and in this case, what I passed in was screen capture box. And if you remember, that was the red box that showed up on the AV capture window. And what that was is basically the boundaries of what you want to analyze. So it passed in the dimensions of that box, and it would take a screen capture of that dimensions. So you align your number in, and it would only it would take a screen capture of what was in that box. So you're not taking a picture, you're taking a screen capture of what is currently on that AV window, AV Foundation window, to kind of describe it like that, if that makes any sense. The next step of the app is to use what is called Swift OCR, which is just an open source optical camera recognition, or like optical image recognition framework that somebody made for Swift, and it works really well. Well, I shouldn't say really well. It works well enough to be used for what I want to do. It kind of gets weird when you start using a lot, like long strings of letters. I don't know why. It just is. But it was useful enough for what I needed it to be, and I found it worked, and it was free, open source. So I just installed it using a pod, and yeah. So basically, what this is you just import Swift OCR at the top. Um, text analyze. You have to create an instance of the analyze class, which analyze is available through OCR. So once you create the instance of that class, you can call a function recognize text. And you literally just pass in an image into that function and it'll analyze it. And then it returns a string. So you are setting the recognize text, which is here, which is a type string, to be equal to the return value of that function. And again, we're passing in the image that is the screen capture. And then all we're doing is setting the label to be the return value of that function. So that's essentially the core functionality of the app. That's how it works, or at least the meat of the app. Down here, I haven't looked at this code in a few months, so there's some redundancy because I was a lot of testing because I hadn't done a lot of this work in Swift before. But I believe this is because I have two versions of this function. I forget which one. This should be it here. So this is creating the CSV file. So what I had to do is, okay, okay, I see. What I did was to be able to remember what number I was on in the list. I added the start number. I saved your start number to user defaults. So if I had 1, I saved 1 into user defaults. I then retrieved that number, passed it into my dictionary I made, and then I have the value of the dictionary as your recognized text string. So I did that every time you hit active dictionary, it would append 1 to your start number. So 2, save that to user defaults, and then repeat this process. So that's what I did there. So that's basically what's happening to add the dictionary. So you're just basically adding your recognized text to a dictionary with the key as the number pertaining to that computer. So then when you hit create CSV file, it's going to iterate through each pair in the dictionary and just basically add it to a CSV file as you saw there. So the file manager that just is what the window that pops up when you hit the create CSV file, and then this is actually like creating the file here. And I looked it up. It actually wasn't that hard at all to make one. So we're doing a for loop, so we're iterating through the dictionary, and then we're setting the line to be right your key, so that's your number, and then your value of the key, so that's the recognized text, and then we're making new line, and then we're appending it to the CSV string, right? And then we add the new line. So it's pretty simple how it works. And then this opens up the file manager, so the window that pops up. So that's really the core of what I have done in this window here, the Mac to analyze part. So if we go back, yeah, that's really like the main part of the application. And again, it works. So the other parts that I was starting to build up on the app was the view forms part. As you can see, it's blank because it's a collection view. What I was doing here, so if you go into a computer form, basically this was pertaining to my internship. This is how they kind of manage their computers. They would have a physical piece of paper that they record this information on. So I was seeing if I could make a digital copy. I didn't actually finish this feature because it was the end of my internship and I didn't need this. This is just what I was doing in my spare time to see if I could. So we'll just put some information in, put like Steven, department I'm in. I don't know. We'll just put iOS. PC name we'll do over L1. So those are in red because you have to put those in before you can create form. Otherwise, it'll just click and not do anything. And what in the world did it do? Oh, oops, that's why. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create form, and that creates your form. You can click on it and you can view the details. Obviously, I only put those 3 details in, so that's what it reads out. You can delete the form and it'll delete it from the collection view. But basically, let's go back here into computer form, create form, form, right? And then the last part I was working on, which I am nowhere near completing whatsoever, is the actual schedule. Oh, and I should say on the view forms, it's saving to core data on your phone. So, but anyway, so back on the schedule part, I was trying to make like a Kanban board, like a visual task board on your phone. I know there were some apps out there to do this, but I want to see if I could kind of build one myself. So this is where I got. So basically you drag an element from here, the bottom, and you can put, let's say, complete. Drag it into complete, and as you can see, it doesn't click. Haven't got there yet. And then the part where I was kind of leaving off, I want to be able to drag from there, but I never got to delete once you dragged it from there. Really weird. I don't know why, but I got to do that if you did it like, I know I got to work somehow. I don't know. And then I set this one up. So this should work. This feature should work on all of them when you click it. I don't know why it's not on the others, but like add. So we're going to say working. And then description, more work. Enter that. And then ideally that would populate this, your task. And then when you're done with that task, you can drag it. Obviously, it doesn't work right now, but yeah, so that's where I got on that. And I think my webcam freezed on me here, so yeah, as you just saw on here, you just saw the code behind the app. And yeah, let me know if you want to see like any more like information on like the app. I don't have any plans on like revisiting the code in the app. But yeah, it's on my GitHub, just S Samuelson. On search on GitHub, you can find the project. I think it's called Swift Number Analyzer is the project name. Yeah, I haven't touched the code like substantially in a while. I think I made like a few like minor edits here and there. So if you want to play around with the code, sure. But functionally it works. And again, I just made it at the end, kind of towards the end of my internship this past summer. And if you want to hear anything more about that, yeah, just like let me know. I can do like a video like describing like why, like what I was doing in the internship and like where I was at. If you want to see, if you'd be interested in seeing that, I don't know. So yeah, this was just kind of a video just to run through like some of the features of one of my projects I've done with Swift. I have more that I can show if there is interest in that. Um, yeah, one of them. Let me see here. Well, I have two apps on the App Store right now. One of them is called Quotability, and then the other is called DotSpace. And they're in serious need of refactoring. I know that. I just haven't had time with school. Um, yeah, so I have plans. I'm working on Quotability, making that a little more like kind of stable and looked better. DotSpace was the first app I ever like launched, released on the App Store, so that definitely needs major refactoring. I'm also thinking about just pulling it from the store at this point. And then I have a few. Obviously, you've seen the coffee application. That's kind of like my big project I'm working on. I have like a road bike application that I started a while back too. I also have a prime number checker application that I just made as like a utility app for like this interview thing I was doing. Those are kind of like my big projects I've done with Swift. So let me know if you want to see any more of that. Yeah, thanks for watching.